May of 2017, a man enters a cell phone store and approaches the saleswoman. The criminal points a gun at the woman and demands that she open the cash register. Store employee Katrina Leon refuses to open the cash register and exits the store along with the customers. But the woman didn't just leave, she also locked the front door. The woman later told journalists that as soon as he entered and pointed the gun at me, I immediately realized I was being robbed again. But this time I didn't open the cash register. I simply locked the front door. In desperation, the man shoots at the lock 4 times, but nothing came of this scheme. The robber tried to break down the door, but that didn't help either. In such a situation, all he could do was pray and beg for passers-by to let him out of the store. But his pleas went unanswered. Soon police arrived and arrested him without resistance. The failed robber was identified as John Bell. He had previously been charged with robbery. Bell pleaded guilty to aggravated robbery and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Florida Stat. This incident occurred on the morning of April 3, 2017, in Miami Gardens, when a woman was at home with her young children. At some point, a stranger approached the house. He got out of his car, looked around, and walked toward the entrance. When the woman saw the thief, she immediately feared for her children's safety. The man was breaking down the door, and it seemed he wouldn't stop until he got inside. The criminal probably thought no one was home, which is why he was so persistent. The woman had no choice but to defend herself and her children. She grabbed her shotgun and aimed it at the door behind which the criminal stood. The woman screamed, and moments later the intruder was already running for his life. As he gets into the car, the woman appears in the doorway with a shotgun in her hands. The woman had never fired her weapon, but her instincts worked that day. Police used surveillance footage to identify the Mercedes license plate and learned it had been stolen. The car was later found in Miami-Dade County. The suspect had not been apprehended at the time of this news report. Milwaukee. On July 3, 2015, at 4 a.m., clothing store owner Rami Muir was in his shop and noticed 3 armed men at the entrance. The robbers then drive an SUV toward the main entrance and attempt to break through the metal grating. By this point, Muir had already grabbed his rifle and was ready to meet the robbers. The moment the criminals try to get through the store doors, Muir opens fire. One of the robbers was wounded. Police later arrived at the scene, and the store owner told them that shortly before the attack, Muir had noticed armed men on the street, so he retrieved his assault rifle from the store office. And as it turned out, for good reason, Muir fired 5 shots, after which the robbers fled. One of the criminals apparently got wounded because he was limping badly and fell several times while fleeing the scene. Store cameras captured at least 5 people involved in the incident. 3 were those who tried to enter the store, another was the SUV driver, and the driver of a second vehicle who picked up the men, and they all left together. Police determined that the SUV used in this incident had been stolen. A few minutes after the robbery, St. Mary's Hospital reported a man brought in with a gunshot wound. Police arriving at the hospital met 2 men in the waiting room. One of the men said he was walking down the street when he heard gunshots and saw a man fall to the ground. He said he decided to help this person. The wounded suspect was identified as Daeshun Burt McWay, 20 years old. He was hospitalized with 3 gunshot wounds. The suspect was questioned twice by different detectives and refused to answer any questions regarding the circumstances under which he was wounded. Burke McWay was charged with burglary and criminal damage to property. The store owner will not face criminal charges since he acted in self-defense.
Santa Ana, California.
On May 26, 2018, around 12:30 a.m., a masked man entered a fast food restaurant. With a gun in hand, the robber approached the cashier, threw a bag down, and demanded it be filled with money.
With trembling hands, the woman put the money in the bag.
The criminal grabs the bag and heads toward the exit. At that moment, several gunshots ring out and the wounded man falls to the floor. In the video, you can see one bullet hit the drink machine. Police arrived at the crime scene, took the suspect into custody, and transported him to the hospital in stable condition. Police also detained the woman who was with the robber. But who opened fire on the criminal? This question was of great interest to the police. During the investigation, officers obtained surveillance footage from the restaurant. The footage shows that after the robber fell at the entrance, a car drove away from the restaurant. The restaurant cook told police that at the moment of the robbery, a car with a man and two women pulled up to the drive-through window. Police believe that the man waiting for food in line saw the robbery taking place inside the restaurant and decided to help. Investigators reported that the restaurant customer who opened fire is being sought on suspicion of assault with a firearm. Police called the shooter's actions very dangerous. The wounded robber has been charged with robbery.